war rages across the mortal realms. New alliances are formed while others lie shattered, and the dominant powers ever seek their next conquest. As these two powerful forces prepare to clash, only one will rise victorious when the dust settles. While this and countless other battles rage on, one fact is becoming clear. The season of war has begun. This video is brought to you by the support of our channel members and the FLGS Partners, Warfire Minis, and X-Planet. Looking for a painting commission? RW Studio is currently running an insane deal for Black Friday. Check out the link in the description.
Hello and welcome to Season of War! Today we have another exciting game of Age of Sigmar. Ridge, bringing out one of your old classics.
My favorite, the rats are back.
Nice, well, rats today, and to face off against them, the YouTube members chose for me to play the Soulblight Gravelords.
Yeah.
Love playing this army. Going back to kind of where I started with Soulblight, played a bunch of the different heroes and that, want to go back to the classic vampires for a little bit.
The big bricks of blood knights and the vampires.
Yes, sir. But before we get into everything, just want to say a big thank you to everyone for watching our content, supporting through the membership. We've just brought back kind of channel goals to add new stuff to our armies and add new armies, right? We want to be able to showcase a bigger variety of builds and all that. So our members actually chose for our first goal to be get our Beasts of Chaos army. I bought two used Beasts of Chaos lots, just need to get them painted. So we're hoping with your guys' help, we'll be able to commission that.
Yes, that's what I was hoping was going to, because Beasts are so competitive and great right now.
Yes.
So we'd love to
want
get
to get
that.
them on the channel. So,
yeah,
so thank you guys for your support already of that. You can contribute through super chats or super thanks if you're not watching live. But either way, thanks for watching. First and foremost, super appreciate all the support we get. So, but let's jump into it. The mission we're playing today is close to the chest. So 6 objectives here. We each get 3. One of them on our opponent's turn. We make one of our own the primary objective. It's worth a bonus point.
Yep.
So that's always spicy.
It's a weird deployment, like the zig kind of here, and then the 6 inches all the way up the edge.
Yeah. So. Yeah, a little different, and otherwise they're pretty standard. Hold 1, hold 2, hold more scoring, battle tactics, grand strats, all the good stuff we know and love.
Yep.
Then, on to lists. Ridge, you want to take us through your Skaven?
Yeah, so I'm playing, I've been trying out different stuff. Skaven is so amazing because there's so many good units and just it's so fun to try everything else. So I'm just running Thankful today. I'm not running them what I usually do, well most people do with the 4 Burnies. I'm running 2 Burnies, 2 Punchies. He is my general, I made him 2. There weren't that many crazy command traits for the 3 heroes I had, so I figured I would just make him the general just so I can possibly get that tactic, and he can hit kind of a little harder. And then I have a Claw Lord who has the Warpstone Charm, so the -1 save if I'm within 3 of you.
Cool.
And then the Warplock Engineer, obviously because I'm running some Scryer stuff. He has more warp power, and Thankful has Death Frenzy because I'm running 30 Storm Vermin, and then 2 units of 20 Clan Rats.
Nice.
I do have a Warp Lightning Cannon, and I'm bringing out the Doom Wheel, so I automatically win because Doom Wheels rule.
Yep.
Would love to run like a ton of
I got one upstairs that we got to build and paint, so I have one. So
we should. So that, and then 10 Gutter Runners because they're just unbelievably good. I didn't have the Ashen Hero to run 15, so just one, reinforced by 1.
Yeah.
And then 1 Rattling Cannon that is hidden in one of the units, and 3 Jezzails as well. So a bunch of just random shooty units, Thankful, and 30 Storm Vermin. You know, it should be a fun. It's always a fun time with Skaven. Who am I kidding? But yeah.
Cool. Well, to face off against them again, Soulblight Gravelords. I'm running Castle Eye tonight. Big staples. I got the 2x10 Blood Knights. I like the 10s, so we'll see if they work for me here today. Otherwise, in my list, I have 3 units of 10 skeletons. Another staple I've gravitated towards throwing them in Expert Conquerors, just to be a little more annoying on objectives. Also in Deep Strike, I have a unit of 20 Graveguard, and then one of the units of Blood Knights is off the board as well. And then I just have a unit of 3 Fellbats rounding out my units. And for heroes, I have my general is the Vingorian Lord. He's got Rousing Commander and Fragment of the Keep. Just they're the good staples, kind of helping to debuff stuff, and then Rousing Commander to buff up my vampires.
Extra attacks.
Yeah, give them all the cast slide buffs once per game. And then I have a Vampire Lord, and a Necromancer who has the Arcane Tome.
Yep.
So,
and he's got Dance Macabre, I imagine.
Yep. And that's pretty much it. Just noteworthy that we're playing the Mushrooms as Wildwood so that we can block line of sight, because we want to make sure we have a good array of terrain that we can utilize.
And it's nice when you see competitive at tournaments and stuff, there's usually a couple Wildwoods or something to block line of sight, because that's just,
Good. Always good to have, even like this, 1, 2, 3 pieces kind of centrally so we can hide behind them. Obviously, we've seen it before, that it's so key in some games.
Yes, especially
really helps level the playing field against those strong shooting armies.
Especially against the rise of the Iron Blasters.
Yes.
We need more line of, or I should say, rise of the Noblars, but more line of sight blocking. Yes,
always helps. But Ridge, you outdropped me here, so it's gonna be up to you.
So I think I'm actually in a decent position here to go either way, but just because all of your grades are 9-inch charges, I'm gonna give you the turn and just pray that you don't go fully all into me and make a bunch of big charges.
Well, we'll see, and just jump into it, going to Soulblight Gravelords, turn 1.
Sounds good.
Looking to pressure their verminous foes, the Soulblight battle tactic is against the odds. The Vangorian Lord and Thankful both use heroic leadership. The Vangorian Lord casts Amethystine Pinions. The Necromancer casts Chronomantic Cogs, then casts Mystic Shield on the Vangorian Lord. The Clan Rats redeploy, moving 4 inches. Want to help us grow? Send a super chat or super thanks to make sure we see your comment and help out with our current channel goal. Coach pause. The Blood Knights and Graveguard deep strike into the battlefield. The Blood Knights use Forge of Victory, but fail their charge. The Warp Lightning Cannon unleashes Hell and deals 3 mortal wounds to the Vangorian Lord. The Vangorian Lord stomps the Warp Lightning Cannon, dealing 2 mortals. The Vangorian Lord uses all-out attack and takes out the Warp Lightning Cannon. The Clan Rats deal no damage, and the Vangorian Lord heals 2 wounds from the Hunger. Destroying a deadly war machine, the Gravelords complete their battle tactic to score 5 points.
Alright, Soulblight turn 1 was decent in the end, but I got a little nervous when I failed 4 out of 5 charges. I mean, I'm looking for 8s and 9s. I rolled a 12, but that was with the Vangorian Lord who needed a 3.
Yeah.
So, in the end though, he did enough. He did more than I really hoped.
Yeah.
I wanted to tie up the Warp Lightning Cannon. You Unleash Hell only did 3. And then I healed it back too. I got the Mystic Shield on him. So
the big one was the 4s and 3s, because you don't attack 3s and 3s, put 2 through.
Yeah.
I failed both of them, so did 2d6 damage.
2d6 damage, did 8.
Yeah.
So yeah, super happy with all that. It puts, what I try to do is kind of overload you in terms of like throwing so much in your face that you can't deal with it all at once.
Yeah. And if you would have made one of those charges, that would have been pretty big.
Yeah, but here, I mean, it's still the same result. Like the Vangorian Lord's the one that's in your face.
Yeah.
He's got Mystic Shield on him. He's gonna be extra tanky.
Yeah.
And
see if I can shoot him down.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to push some shots in elsewhere too, but just again, so many targets here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I felt like trying to go for the aggressive play here rather than just trying to be cagey, because I just have the shooting advantage, the range advantage, right?
Absolutely.
Huge,
so you want to get in here instead of me just shooting and taking the cannon. That's pretty big, because that's just all.
That was huge. That was very lucky.
Yeah.
So I will take it though.
Yes.
Yeah, and we'll Soulblight scoring max points here. So we'll go into Skaven turn 1.
Sounds good.
As the vampires fall right into their trap, the Skaven battle tactic is desecrate their lands. Thanquol uses heroic leadership, and the Vangorian Lord uses their finest hour. The Engineer casts more warp power, but is unbound. Thanquol casts Launch in the Soulseeker, then casts Death Frenzy on the Stormvermin. The Graveguard redeploy, moving 5 inches. The Engineer uses a Warpstone Spark on the Doom Wheel, Jezzails, and Rattling Gun. The Doom Wheel shoots at the Blood Knights, dealing 4 damage. The Rattling Gun deals 1 damage to the Blood Knights. Thanquol shoots at the Blood Knights, dealing 7 mortal wounds. The Gutter Runners shoot at the Vangorian Lord, dealing 4 damage. The Jezzails target the Graveguard and deals 3 mortal wounds. Thanquol roars at the Vangorian Lord, who fails his own. The Stormvermin attack and the Blood Knights use all its defense, taking just 1 damage, and the Vangorian Lord takes 4. The Vangorian Lord attacks Thanquol, dealing 4 damage. Thanquol fights back, but deals no damage, and Vangorian Lord still has 1 wound left. The Blood Knights kill 6 Stormvermin, which fight on death but deal no damage. The Doom Wheel fights but does no damage. Last to fight, the Claw Lord attacks the Vangorian Lord and slips 1 attack through to kill him. Throwing everything into taking down the Vangorian Lord, the Skaven complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
All right, so back from a lengthy Skaven one, there was a lot of combat, a lot of shooting, a lot of trying to take down the Vangalord, which the Claw Lord at the very end, the very last profile, finally got the last wound off of him.
Yeah, so sad.
Unbelievable, the tankiness of the -1 to wound and the lessen Ren by 1. Which
and the Mystic Shield turn 1.
And the Mystic Shield with best day ever. So
yeah.
Just looking for ones, there's so many attacks. You failed the roar, so I got the +1 attacks. So each Stormvermin had 3 attacks, and then was when they died.
If I hadn't failed the roar, he would have lived.
He would have lived for sure, yeah. So and me also just not fully putting together, because I had the -1 save artifact too. Yeah. I didn't do the math like perfectly before I went in, and I thought for sure that not everything was going to be a 2-up, especially with his big 2 rend.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Well, his 2 rend was 3-ups, but
or it was still 3-up because of the -1 save.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just a crazy amount of activations and things happened. I shot like the Gutter Runners, amazing. I was planning to kind of go other places, but I had to just put everything into him and finally kill him. I did a little bit of damage here and there from other things. Made a nice redeploy with the Graveguard.
Yeah.
So they would have got hosed by that the flame.
Yeah,
so I killed just a couple of them here. And I don't know, it's like, this is already like, if I would have had 4 projectors, there would have been more Blood Knights, would have been, but then the potential to do the damage there.
Yeah.
was that. But you were on a 4-up save, so you made.
Yeah.
Or sorry, not you made your save. So yeah. And just the 6-up wards are just like anyone that says the 6-up ward isn't great is dumb.
No, it's just when in such volume, like with one little 5 wound hero, if you're putting enough, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
But a situation where you're that tanky, also having the ward on top of that is huge.
Yes. It saved a lot of Blood Knights.
Yeah, and here I did, so obviously I lost my general. The whole reason I threw him in was to buy me time.
Yes.
He bought me, basically, I sacrificed him for your entire round 1.
Pretty much my entire army, yeah.
Giving me the opportunity with a prio to be in a really good spot.
Yes.
Still with prio, if it goes against me, it could be very bad.
Yeah.
But I was just trying to buy time against an army that has the range threat, right?
Yeah,
so.
And you kind of needed to go in.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be a classic turn 2 prio.
Let's go into it.
Yeah, I don't have any of my dice here, so I got my old ones from my drawer. So we're going with the Du Bois dice.
That's a 3.
We're going with the Du Bois dice because we're going there this weekend.
50.
Bought these last year, so you know it's going to be. I always roll 5s, but
It should be a 3.
It should be a 3, but it's a cock. Jordan's great at prio.
Ridge wins prio. That's fun. Let's go into Skaven turn 2.
Here we go.
With their dark schemes falling into place, the Skaven battle tactic is gaining momentum. Thankful uses their finest hour, and the Vampire Lord uses heroic leadership. The Blood Knights rally but return no model. The Engineer casts more and more warp power on the Doom Wheel. Thankful casts Mystic Shield on himself and Death Frenzy on the Storm Vermin. The Engineer uses a Warp Storm Spark on the Doom Wheel, Jezzails, and Rattling Gun. Thankful unleashes his Warp Fire Braziers on the Graveguard, killing 16. The Jezzails look to finish off the last Graveguard, but fail to do any damage. The Rattling Gun overcharges, killing 8 skeletons, but blows itself up. The Doom Wheel overcharges, dealing 8 damage to the Blood Knights. Thankful stomps, finishing off the last Graveguard. The Storm Vermin uses Gnash Gnaw on their bones, dealing 9 damage to the Blood Knights. The Blood Knights deal 1 damage to Thankful and none to the Doom Wheel. A Doom Wheel deals no damage. The Blood Knights attack the Storm Vermin, dealing 8 damage, and they take 3 in return from Death Frenzy. Thankful uses all-out attack and deals 12 damage to the Blood Knights. Yikes. The Blood Knights use Inspiring Presence, and 6 Storm Vermin flee from Battle Shock. Crippling the Soulblight force, the Skaven complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
So, back from Skaven turn 2. Pretty much everything went the way that I thought it was going to go. There was a couple little things that I could have done better. These guys didn't really do it. The Gutter Runners didn't really do anything because I left them. I wanted to actually leave a couple targets like the Blood Knights to shoot, but I ended up doing exactly enough to leave 1 Graveguard left.
With Thankful.
With Thankful. Which then meant if I didn't, I shot all 3 Jezzails at him and they obviously all 3 flubbed. So I couldn't kill that single last guy, which was my tactic for gaining momentum. So I had to leave those 3 or 4 Blood Knights alive, as you saw on the screen, so that Thanquol could charge, and then he successfully did stomp them barely to kill that one tick for my tactic. So then that meant that these guys weren't really within 12 of anything that I really wanted to shoot. Well, other than obviously didn't want to do them. So yeah, that was kind of the only thing. Everything else was kind of positioning wise. So putting some points onto here, because now you have the graveyards, and just holding both. So you have to kind of think if you're gonna, I can pull from either end depending on the situation.
Yep.
The other thing is I forgot, I didn't keep a CP for Inspiring Presence. So looking back, there's a few things I could have done. I could have done the heroic action with him so that he can auto make something pass and then I take D3. Then I wouldn't have had best day on Thanquol, which I might not have killed as many Blood Knights. Yeah. So a lot of back and forth with that. I did all defense. Well, here it's like, yeah. So overall, good board position clearly, and just kind of picking away at the Blood Knights.
Oh,
they're high saves though, with like, it's ridiculous them with Death Frenzy and the +1 attack from the Claw Lord.
The volume. Oh, the -1 to save from the Claw Lord actually was probably the main thing here.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they're still on their 3-ups with an all-out defense.
Yeah. So that item, the Warpstone Amulet or whatever, is very, very good. And then he's already with them to give them +1 attack. So it's great, but it's 3s and 3s, right? And the last book, they used to get +1 to hit and wound for having multiple. So that would have been so much better if they would have kept that.
There is a trade-off though, because you did have to leave room to charge him in, which meant you potentially were getting less Storm Vermin in.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of a trade-off.
And then maybe doing all-out attack, like that under the math. I think +1 attack is still that much better with that many models. Usually at that high, you know.
When they already hit on 3s and 3s,
an attack's better than 2s and 3s with a lot less 30 less attacks.
Yep. But otherwise, the only last thing to do is see if I roll a 5-up actually at the end of your turn.
I do always forget that. It's on my turn too.
Yeah, I need some Graveguard back right about now.
Yes, 10 Graveguard would be huge.
Nope, don't get it.
That is a 3.
Steam has not been going my way. That's it though, and we'll jump into Soulblight Gravelords turn 2.
Let's see it.
With their desire for vengeance burning, the Soulblight battle tactic is eye for an eye. The Vampire Lord uses heroic leadership while Thanquol fails. The Vampire Lord casts Mystic Shield but is unbound. The Necromancer has Overwhelming Dread unbound, then fails to cast Arcane Bolt. One unit of Blood Knights deals 2 mortal wounds with Riders of Ruin, and the other deals 4. The Blood Knights attack and take down the Storm Vermin, but suffer 6 wounds in return. The Graveguard are returned because of Endless Legions. Friggin' hate that so much. While little has gone their way, the Gravelords complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
Soulblight turn 2.
Turn 2.
This is depressing. But I brought 10 Graveguard back, so I have a chance.
And brought your 10 Skellies down.
Yeah, that's less impactful. But 10 Graveguard have the theoretical potential to do something significant in this game.
Yes.
Which even heartbreaking to lose 2 Blood Knights.
Death Frenzy,
just on Death Frenzy, yeah. But I couldn't get over that unit with the redeploy or whatever.
Yeah.
Or the move. And it's either that or sit out of combat, right? So I did something. It does take me that objective actually, so I'll hold more here and score all right, which is nice.
Yes.
And yeah, at this point,
I was going to use the redeploy here because when you got the 7 on there, I could have redeployed a few guys on, but I only had 1 CP, which originally I was thinking to keep for either Inspiring Presence or attack or something, and that's why. And then I ended up using it just because you killed 1 single
gutter runner, yeah.
But the way everything worked out.
And I left the Blood Knight. I could have gone in, probably still survive. But it was just, I wanted to keep him out for the potential rally. 9 dice. That was the more effective rally.
Yes, and your and with priority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly that. So we are into turn 3 priority ridge.
Yes. I'm rolling a Basement Wargamers. They never bad for me.
All right. That's a 1.
Okay. Well, they rolled a missile,
Ridge
which is a 6.
So Ridge, let's do your worst.
Yeah. Let's just end Jordan off here
right.
and let him get back to editing and painting stuff that we need getting painted out.
All right. So we'll go into Skaven turn 3.
Let's do it.
Confident their victory is near, the Skaven battle tactic is eye for an eye. The Soulblight make the middle objective their primary. Thanquol and the Vampire Lord both use heroic leadership. The Blood Knights rally, returning 1 model. Thanquol casts Mystic Shield on himself and has Launch on the Soulseeker unbound. The Engineer casts more warp power on the Doom Wheel. The Clan Rats use at the double. The Graveguard redeploy, moving 1 inch. Thanquol shoots at the Graveguard, killing 6. The Engineer deal 3 damage to the Blood Knights. The Jezzails shoot at the Blood Knights, who use all the defense and take no damage. The Gutter Runners shoot at the Blood Knights but deal no damage. The Doom Wheel shoots and finishes off the lone Blood Knight. Thanquol uses Forward to Victory and makes his charge. The Claw Lord attacks first and finishes off the Blood Knights. The Graveguard use Crimson Feast and deals 4 damage to Thanquol. Thanquol finishes off the Graveguard. Securing their triumphant win, the Skaven complete their battle tactic and score 6 points.
Alrighty, so back from Skaven turn.
Soul crushing.
Soul crushing. Blood Knights still don't want to die to shooting.
Yeah.
Jesus. Jezzails, I'm always like, I want to root for them. Like, they're great for little heroes and stuff, but just 3 shots.
Something with good saves.
Yes, or just doesn't. 3 shots is not enough. Wounding on 3s, like, you need to give them the more warp power or something to wound on 2s, because it's just you fail. They just have not been nice. I guess running 6 or 9 maybe, but yeah, I don't know. Still not a huge fan. The Doom Wheel, pretty dope. Got more warp power on it. The Gutter Runners, I put everything in here, but again, the Claw Lord saved the day by just wiping out the last 2, because you saved...
Doing 4 damage.
They saved you pretty much all the shooting. And then, Thanquol just went in and roasted them. Rolled a 1 for the redeploy, which was hurting.
Yeah, because that could have been big. I mean, and you just barely made your charge too, so it's like, if I had have rolled a 2 to redeploy, you only kill 4, and maybe actually my charge. You're probably
would have made the charge easier, and I did 12 damage.
Yeah, so your charge would have been the same, because if I move further, you're shooting less guys. It's a closer charge.
Less dice, so then I hit them easier. Yeah.
Would have ended up being the same.
But you unbound Louchon. That was my big plan. I wasn't even going to go them. I was going to Louchon to the middle here, take them out, leave this point, and just hold this side. And there's no way you'd be able to come back.
Yeah.
And then with killing these 2 too.
You know what? I mean, like my 20 skeletons. They can do some work.
No, with Prio there would have been obviously interesting. With rallying, you rallied 1 horseback, but if you would have, with Prio, rallied, done stuff, and then still rallied on my turn.
You know what? I needed a good juicy 4-up rally. A good 4-up rally on some blood Knights would be spicy.
Yeah, or a 5-up rally like the new Slave.
I think that we need another army with 4-up rallies.
Yes, I think so too. But actually get rid of all of the armies that have that. Yeah. So we're going to score more,
yes.
Get my tactic.
And from here, at this point, we're just going to call the game. Yeah. Too little, too late. Looking back, I obviously went for an aggressive play off the start.
Yes.
But realistically, like, like my play actually panned out pretty well of like holding you up turn 1.
Yeah.
Because really, like, you only got into my one hero.
Yeah.
And so your I guess your Storm Fiends killed a Blood Knight or something, but that wasn't Storm Vermin. So it's like, really, even if I had to, I could have played more conservative, spread you out, try and backdoor you, but it's like, if I try, my concern
is I have shooting. So if you stay away from me, I'm just going to shooting you.
If I hold the other Blood Knights back at the start of the game, okay, you're killing, you're wiping the stuff I have, right? Yeah. So yeah. And Laoshan lets you get in there, so I felt being aggressive. A good offense was the best defense, was the mentality. Feeling like I'm just on the back foot because of the shooting matchup. I mean, that's the struggle of combat armies that here I was higher drops and you're getting given the turn and it's like, what do you do, right? It's tough. But the juicy turn 2 prio could have been big.
There's a few things with that as well as maybe making, if you made this one charge, if they got in and he got in, that would have been bad news bears. But that's your classic like Night Haunt, anything, drop down, fail your charges, don't win priority, you lose. Like that's literally, it's a tale as old as time.
Yep, so tough pill to swallow here for the Gravelords. Not getting to execute like they would like to.
Yeah, and just not winning prios, Jordan. You gotta, you need to do something with.
It's a combo of, I have a poor priority record, you have a really good one, so together is just annoying as
bad in every case.
Yeah, but good showing for Skaven though.
Yeah, it was fun.
A bit of a mixed list with a bunch of different tools.
Yeah, it wasn't the most competitive. There's a few things that I would have changed, but I wanted to show like the Doom Wheel and like I said, the 3 Giselles, I don't know, I'm not a big fan. But the Gutter Runners are just so good.
Warp Lightning Cannon, never got a chance to do
always kill that.
I always kill it turn 1.
You killed it turn 1 our last game.
You gotta stop throwing it out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna run 3, so then no matter what, I can at least overcharge one of them.
Yep.
I overcharged so much stuff still, like overcharged the cannon. The first time it didn't explode, second time it did.
Which is good.
Yeah, but 4s and 4s, even the Rattling Cannons, I was such a fan of them back when Overseer Destruction command trait, you got reroll to hit and wound, but now +1 to hit and wound is just, it's changed the unit so much. I feel like, it's so much different now.
Yeah.
Units that like do 6s to mortal, like these Gutter Runners, things like that are so much more stonks than having like, things that 3s and 3s or 4s and 4s, it's like, we saw the crazy.
And the mortals are so big in this edition, right? Like the mortals are
are massive,
especially against a high armor save army, right?
Yeah, or Stormcast, or stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
The Vangalord, just nuts, giving us an early preview of what Chaos Warriors in Nurgle are going to be.
Oh yeah.
The -1 to wound.
Again, even like talked about all the little moments that I,
so close to surviving.
That could have gone my way.
Unbelievable.
Like if he survived, even with losing priority, that would have like tied you up so much. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Arcane Bolt, let it off, kill him. But
I would have unbound it.
Yeah, of course.
Or ignored it on a 6. But yeah, in essence, went for the aggressive play with Soulblight.
Yeah.
Didn't get the things I needed to keep the momentum going, and you saw against the shooting power and combat prowess of Skaven, especially with the fight on death.
I thought the whole time you were pointing at the Clawlord, and I'm like, yeah, he's right. The
Clawlord sucks.
He's the best.
He did like 2 damage that first combat, and you thought he was the hero.
Yeah, and
just the rest of your army sucked.
Because he took down the Vangalord, and then he killed the last 2 Blood Knights. Because I painted him up so nicely.
Must be it.
He's one of my favorite models. This is the 4th model. I think I painted 3 Clan Rats in Fantasy. This was like the 4th model I ever.
Clawlords?
The Clawlord.
Oh yeah.
He used to be called a Warlord in Fantasy back then, but that I ever painted ever.
Nice.
So me and him have like
history.
Yes, and he's my boy, so he always gets me out of these jams.
Nice. Well,
jammed up.
Yeah, here he definitely did well for you.
Yes.
Only reason you won.
Literally.
But guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this match. Don't forget, if you enjoy our content, you can find a bunch more in our YouTube membership, as well as a bunch of other perks and fun stuff. And yeah, always lots going on in the Discord as well, so don't forget to check all that stuff out. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon in another video.
Have a good week, everyone.